All right, guys, welcome back to another episode of The Nerds Who Drink. I'm Steve.
I'm Mark.
And, guys, this week we are joined by Dogfish Head Sequench Ale. We're trying out a new thing here. This is called Riverside. We're trying to give you guys a little bit of face to face recognition stuff from us. And we're also trying to branch out a little bit and eventually end up on YouTube. Again, that's the deal. Um, so, yeah, once the basement remodeling's done and the bar's back up and we're good to go, we're back in there. We're going to start doing tons of fun. All right, Mark, I guess without further ado, you want to give her a little crackski? Ooh, that's a good one. That's delicious.
Ooh. Should treat it like a wine. You gotta do like the swirl and the smell.
Yeah, little snifsky.
It is
I love
nice.
the can art. I'm a big water guy. I love the ocean. The ocean's terrifying
I love beer.
and vast, but love the ocean. Um, Mostly because it can kill me. But honestly, no, great. I've had sequential before. This was not like a new thing for me. I love Dogfish Head. They make great stuff. Another local brewery. Again, Mark and I are trying to like touch base with a bunch of different local stuff. We got some cool things in the works, things that are coming up, and looking forward to working with other breweries as well. So I guess some of the stuff we wanted to talk about. Mark, you recently went to a concert,
Yes.
which you posted about on all of our socials. I'm a little jealous, not even gonna lie. It looked like an awesome time. Huge fan of all of the early 2000s nostalgia that it brought back up. So give me some information. Like, who did you see for the viewers and listeners that haven't seen it yet? And what was your favorite part about the concert?
So the concert was over in Camden, New Jersey at I don't even know what it is anymore. The Tweeter, BB&T
BB and
Pavilion,
T,
and
fucking
I don't think
whatever
it's
the
BB&T anymore. Pretty sure it's
riverfront, whatever the fuck
KBN.
it is.
But anyway, yeah, we were down on the waterfront. So the concert was Girlfriends, Simple Plan, and Avril. Now, we didn't see
Solid.
Girlfriends because none of us even knew who they were, so we just didn't care. But we got
I've
there.
heard of them at least. I've at least heard of them, but I've never actually like listened to their music.
Oh, shoot. Yeah, I have no idea who they are. Probably maybe heard them on the radio or something, but outside of that, I got no
Yeah.
clue. But as you guys have seen from some of the clips that I posted, and I'll post more, I have videos of both Simple Plan and Avril's performance. Um, from what I remember, it was a great time.
Good.
I did a
That
little
is
bit of a pregame with some
always a good time.
Burnett's iced tea vodka and some Wawa peach tea.
Ooh, solid, solid. Good old days.
Yeah, but no, it was. I mean, I have fun at concerts no matter what, but that they definitely put on a hell of a show. And like at
They
first, I
look
was
awesome.
sitting there like thinking like, how awkward is Avril Lavigne going to be performing like, hey, hey, you, I don't like your girlfriend at the age of like 34, 35.
She's that young. Good for her.
Yeah, I think she's our age. She's right,
Really?
maybe a
Fuck.
little bit older. I
See,
don't
like
know.
I say, that makes me feel old, but
Yeah,
so be it.
let's. I'll look it up real quick, but I, she's 39. I'm sorry, 39.
30. Okay.
So
I'll,
either way,
I'll
she's
take that.
still
That,
under 40.
that's fair.
But yeah, so I was like, here's a 40-year-old singing about like not liking your boyfriend and the skater boys and all this. But dude, she was an awesome show. So was Simple Plan.
See, Simple
Simple
Plan's the one.
Plan actually covered Mr. Brightside,
Ooh,
which
that's
got
awesome.
the whole crowd going. Along with, I mean, they got hits on hits. I mean,
Of
I'm an
course.
elder emo, so I mean that was right in my wheelhouse. You know,
Oh yes.
the early to middle school, early high school, you got in your feels, you put on the like uh oh my god, I'm blanking on the name of the song now. Is it just called Untitled? Or is that a different band? I think that might be a different band. Either way, um, any majority of their songs were just for like people that were whatever. There was one point in the show where
Angsty teens.
I have a question for you.
Shoot.
Do you know what the deal is? I haven't done any looking into it, but what's the deal with Simple Plan and Scooby Doo? Like, is there like a thing there, or because
I'm gonna be honest with
during
you.
one of their songs, a bunch of dancers came out dressed up as Scooby Doo and were dancing all over the thing. I got a shirt actually with the Mystery Machine on it that says Simple
Okay.
Plan. I'm kind of jealous. My wife actually got a shirt. It says I'm just a kid, but then it looks like the kid's like scribbled out with like marker and underneath it says adult, and on the back it says life is a nightmare.
I mean, that is true. That's so I don't know about the Scooby Doo thing. I guess that might be like again, whenever Scooby Doo had its like revival in the early 2000s, maybe they did a thing with Simple Plan, which either way, awesome, good for you. Uh yeah, as far as like band t-shirts go, I picked one up that says Work Sucks I Know from the Blink concert, and yeah, I didn't understand those words as much as I thought I would when I was a kid, and god damn it, work does suck.
Dude, I remember
So
in like
yeah.
high school, like just jamming, I'd be like, "Work sucks." I know, and here I am like a unemployed 15-year-old at the
Yep.
time,
That is
like, and now I'm just sitting there and I wake up in the morning and my life is a nightmare.
Yep, that is 110% the fucking truth. But speaking of elder emo stuff, that is a fantastic segue into, I think, one of my favorite things that I've seen come out. It actually is release date is September 6th, so by the time you guys see this, it will have been released. Um, I guess it'll be released yesterday, since technically you're going to see this on the 7th. Disney is pairing up with a bunch of bands. And when I say a bunch, I mean like a shit ton. So it is a new album from Disney called A Whole New Sound, where they have bands from, I want to say, our childhood. I'll call it our childhood,
Going off the list of people,
covering
yeah.
Disney songs from the movies of our childhood and today. Like Newfound Glory, covering Part of Your World from Little Mermaid. Magnolia Park, covering one of my favorite songs ever, Eye to Eye, right here. A little bit of power line action from the Goofy movie. We have We the Kings covering Go the Distance from Hercules, like right there, Eye to Eye and Go the Distance. I'm sold because a huge Hercules fan, huge fan of Goofy movie. All of the other ones on here, I mean, like Can You Feel the Love Tonight? Solid classic. Colors of the Wind, Let It Go for anyone that was ever listening to Frozen. I know I have a young daughter. I think I know every word to Frozen ever. You'll Be in My Heart, a Phil Collins classic. Are you fucking kidding me?
Look, did you
You've Got a
actually
Friend in
know?
Me.
Did you know that Phil Collins recorded every song for Tarzan in like six different languages for the movie? So when it released like internationally, it was still him singing it.
Phil Collins is my fucking hero.
I mean, that soundtrack
Genesis,
slaps.
dude. That is he did not have to go that hard.
No,
But honestly, dude.
but thank you.
Oh, absolutely. Thank you, Phil Collins. I feel bad because like I remember when got the news that he was no longer gonna be able to play the drums, and I was like, damn. Like, we lost a good one. And Phil Collins really is like one of my favorite drummers of all time. Him, like Travis Barker, like top two for different reasons, obviously. But yeah, honestly, check out A Whole New Sound, Disney, and every artist that's on there. I'm sure they're gonna kill it. Everything that's released so far, they've done a couple like pre-releases. Magnolia Park was the first one I saw. Doing Eye to Eye, I think I've listened to that like 1,000 times on repeat. When I pulled up to your house earlier today, it was playing in the car. So, yeah, I am obsessed with that song. Love it. I will absolutely be singing that when I'm running my Disney 10K in November, first week of November. So excited for that.
Yeah,
Yeah. So we wanted to do a little talking about that because again, pop culture. Here we are, and I guess to pop into a different kind of culture. Mark and I have recently. Well, I just found out today that Mark and I have watching the same TV series that we're now what 4 seasons in for,
yep.
and god damn it, it is fucking phenomenal. Because if you are a fan of any of the actors or actresses in this series, you're gonna love this show. And that show is
Only Murderers in the Building with Selena
Only
Gomez,
Murders
Martin
in the
Short,
Building. God
and
damn it, it's so good.
oh my god, Martin Short, Selena
And
Gomez,
Steve Martin.
Steve Martin.
Steve Martin and Martin Short. like if you remember them from like the classics, like The Princess Bride, or any movie of that nature from those times, back in like the '90s with Steve Martin, like Cheaper by the
I was
Dozen,
just
like
like
those
cheaper
are the.
by. I couldn't. I was gonna say cheaper by the dozen, but I didn't want to sound stupid. But yeah, cheaper by the
But like
dozen.
fucking hilarious.
Wasn't he in Oh my god, what's the one there that's making fun of like the Bond movies? Or is that somebody else?
Oh no 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 no! It is.
Because I think he was in like a Pink
Is
Panther
it called
movie.
I? It's not. It's not called I Spy. That's one with Steve Carell, right?
I Spy with Steve Carell.
I know what you're talking about. It's like effect. Yeah, it's
Don't,
making fun of James
don't call
Bond.
me Shirley, isn't that that's Steve
Ye-
Martin, isn't it?
That's Steve Martin. I can't remember the name of the movie, but yes, fantastic.
Naked Gun.
Absolutely. Yes, Naked Gun. Good call. Great set of movies. I love Steve Martin. He's fucking hilarious. The father from the movies of my childhood. He's always been great. I can't think of a thing that he was in that wasn't like a blockbuster hit.
Yeah,
Martin Short, hilarious. Selena Gomez, they brought in some young talent that's going to draw in a younger crowd. I love it. Love this season how they brought in Zach Galifianakis. Huge fan of him. Obviously, Eva Longoria's in it, and Eugene Levy.
have you watched the second episode of this season yet? The newest
I watched
one?
most of it. I'm not gonna lie. I'd work this morning, so I was
Because they
catching
brought
it up last night. I want to say like 70% of the way through it, and I passed out.
oh my god, what's his name? You watched Scrubs, right?
Yeah.
The hemophiliac. I can't think of his name. Oh my god, the actor that plays
Oh,
him, the dude that always thinks there's something wrong with him and there never
mhm.
is. Oh
Yeah.
my god, I can't think of his name. They just brought he's in this season. He was in that episode. He just always plays like this awkward character, and it's phenomenal.
I think so far, and again, not that the show is getting better, worse, or indifferent. I still think season one is probably my favorite. The introductory series, or the introductory season of the series, it's awesome. Honestly, like I think it's hilarious. The scene with the cat in the freezer is still like I will if I tell someone about this show, I'm like, you gotta watch it. When you get to that episode, talk to me because I remember laying in bed, tears rolling down my face, trying not to fucking piss myself laughing on that. Like that was awesome.
Dude, for me, it's like I feel like for me, it's more just the deadpan kind of a comedy that it has with
Yes.
like Martin Short because he plays like I understand that they're older actors, but they play being older people so well
Yes.
and like so out of touch with like how
Technology
society
and
works.
reality. Yeah.
Like, but yeah, nah, I mean, yeah, they have some of the jokes they make are hysterical. The uh the main cop's back.
Yes. Yes. I am just such a fan of this series in itself. Like I'll continue watching it as long as they want to keep making it. So while I have a feeling we might be coming to a close here with the like the movie deal they have going on in the series, I feel like they're like edging out. Like this is going to either be their last season or maybe one after this.
Yeah, I could see that. I
I
mean,
mean, listen, and I hate to say it because it's a great show, but how many? It's just solving murders. Like that's what it is. I want to call it what it is. Not that I don't love it. I could watch it forever, but I feel like it's going to eventually get repetitive.
well, here's what I want to know is like how many murders have to happen around you before like it's kind of suspicious.
I mean, they've had quite a few so far, and thankfully they've all proved that like it wasn't them. And I think that's what's basically keeping them out of prison at this point. You have Paul Rudd's death in the last season, like, and that whole
Meryl Streep
debacle
and
with the
Paul Rudd and dude, they've
yeah,
had like
they had
all
some pretty
stars.
big names in this show. Like they really did. Like they're going to the fucking wall with this, and I love it.
Richard Kind, that's his name.
Okay,
Yeah, Richard Kind is like they go up and meet him, and he's just wearing, like an eye patch. And here it's like uh, Steve Martin like thinks he's giving him like a stink eye from like across the way out the window, but really he just has like pink eye, and it's like always contagious. So he's like it moves from one eye to the other. So he has an eye patch just to like move it to the other side. He's like, I'm
That's
always contagious.
awesome. That's fantastic. I love that. So I guess we're not too far into the series yet. Or not the season. It's season 4. We're on 2 episodes in. Do you have any guesses as to who killed Saz?
First off, I was really aggravated that they killed Zaz last season because for any of you that have ever seen the movie Role Models,
Oh my fucking god, yes.
she plays like the perfect, just like outcast character in everything she's in. But like the first thing
Oh
I
yeah.
think of as far as the counselor and Role Models, but
Yep.
I honestly don't know because like number one, I feel like we haven't met who
I
murdered
agree.
her yet. Because usually, from the way that it usually trends, you usually don't meet that person until like halfway through or so, or they're just like a quick like one off like they walk past them, they say like hi, and then that's it.
Yeah.
Because like
So
initially when
the
they went in the one family's like apartment that had the ham hanging in the shower, I was like,
yeah.
like as soon as I heard like oh like he's my hall pass and this and that, and the husband's getting like all aggravated, I'm like all right, that's a red herring. It's not him. Maybe it's the daughter because she's so sick of it, but I really feel like we haven't met who murdered Zaz yet.
I think so. Again, it's either we haven't met them yet, which I completely could see happening, or flip side, they're like an OG from like the first season that you got like a one off, and they were like jealous of Steve Martin's character. And I just, again, we are aware as of right now that the intended target was supposed to be Steve Martin.
Right.
At least that's what like they're leaning towards and leaning heavy into that. But
The reason why I'm
yeah,
thinking that they haven't introduced him yet is because like when Selena and Martin Short are like going to like the West Tower, they see the
mhm,
sign that's like everybody in the building come to the meeting, then not let this movie happen. So I'm like,
yeah,
okay, whoever killed them probably killed him so that the movie wouldn't get filmed. But I'm like, okay, so we probably haven't met every we haven't met Christmas all the time guy,
yeah.
and then we don't know who owns that one. I forget what the name of the thing was, Dudolph or whatever.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
The abandoned looking apartment.
Yep.
But no, I mean, every season I've been happy with every season so far because like the second season, like was it Paul Rudd was in the second season and it was just kind of like really quick, and then they kind of dove into it in the third.
I think he might have been like at the end of the second season, like maybe the last episode. I think again similar to like how they killed Zaz at the end of last season, and then like this season they're really gonna dive into it.
Right, and that's what I'm thinking. So I'm interested to see what way they go with it, but I'm excited for it.
Yes, and for those of you who are football fans, we are at the week of kickoff, so I'm excited. We have the Eagles technically tomorrow. When you're listening to this, it will be yesterday, playing down in Brazil, South America.
So dumb.
If you
Not
couldn't
so
guess,
much that
Mark is
they're
not an
playing
Eagles
in
fan.
Brazil that's dumb. Just the fact that there's like a gang war going on and you can't wear green. And they
And
pick
they picked
two
Green
of
Bay and
the
the
four
Eagles.
teams in the NFL out of 32 that wear green. Like, like why
No,
would
listen,
you-
I completely agree with that. I think it's a little insane. But who am I to say, right? I don't pick, I don't choose. Kind of excited to watch it. I'll be at work watching it, but oh well, it's going to be cool. I am kind of excited to see, again, a Friday night football game. It's not a college game or a high school game. And I also think it'll be cool to, just get a kickoff and like get the real first taste of the football season, which is technically tonight.
Ooh, excuse me.
Mark and I are in a fantasy football league together, so there's going to be lots of shit talking in
Probably,
the coming weeks.
probably not. Just going off of my team compared to some of the others. I mean, it's kind of unfair when you're like, oh, we'll have our wives and girlfriends draft, but your wife actually plays in fantasy, 7 different fantasy leagues with her family.
Listen, it's fun regardless. We're not playing for money. We're not playing for anything. We're playing just in our friends group. It's a 6-team league, so if you guys have any idea about fantasy football, it's garbage.
Yeah, it's to have a
It's
bad
literally just
team.
garbage time. Um, but it was a fun way to get together, get everybody together. Wives,
We had a
girlfriends, kids,
blast
families. We all went out to brunch. We had a good time. Um,
watching
it
all
was
the
cool.
kickers and defenses go in the third and fourth rounds.
Yeah, watching fucking quarterbacks go round one. It was fun to watch. It was cool. Honestly, I had a great time. I know we were hanging out with like Eddie and Jay, and the whole crew was there, so it's kind of cool. And I think that was it was fun. So we will see how this season shakes out. And like I said, I'm kind of excited to hop on here with you, and we'll see how things play out for both of our teams.
So, what's your
Good luck to
Super
both
Bowl
of us.
prediction? Your way too
Super
early
Bowl.
Super Bowl
Oh
prediction.
fuck. Way too early Super Bowl prediction.
Just the teams and winner.
Just the
You don't
teams.
have to do the
Okay.
score.
Teams to end up in the Super Bowl are going to be. Give me 1 second. And yes, so we had to take a quick break there, but now that we're back, we were talking fantasy football. So very excited to see how things shake out. You wanted me to talk early
Way
Super
too
Bowl
early
prediction.
Super Bowl prediction.
Way too early Super Bowl prediction. All right, I'm gonna hit you with an obvious one. I want to say San Francisco. I'm a huge fan of Christian McCaffrey. If he can stay healthy this year, they're gonna do well.
That's always a given. Well, him and Kittle. Kittle's always injured.
Yes, yes. So San Francisco. Trying to think of like an Miami,
Hmm.
and that's just because Tyreek Hill is just a powerhouse. And
You think Tua could get them there?
I don't know if to, I don't. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't know if Tua can get them there, but I want to be just like an underdog. Uh, but god damn it, if you've ever watched a fucking interview with their coach,
Oh, I
that right there is gonna get them into the Super Bowl.
Mike McDan,
Yeah,
Mike
Mike
McDaniel's.
McDaniel's.
Yeah.
Hilarious, dude. Like I watched him go from a shitty used car salesman to like the drug kingpin of Miami, and it is the greatest transformation in the world.
All right, who do you think is winning, Niners or Dolphins?
Oh, Niners are gonna definitely take it. If it was those two, it's gonna be the Niners. But yeah, if it's the Niners and like any other team that could put up a real fight, maybe not. The Niners don't exactly edge everyone out. But yeah, so Niners, Miami, Niners are gonna win it. I'll say
Let's say you don't have to give a score. I was just curious who.
I'm just gonna throw a score out there. Fuck. 28-10.
Okay.
28-10. I'm gonna give them a touchdown and field goal.
See, I'm thinking. I really feel like this could be an Eagles year to get back to the Super Bowl, but
I
I
would
don't
love
see
that.
it
That would be
happening.
wonderful.
I think NFC Championship game would be Philadelphia and Detroit,
Okay.
with Detroit going to the bowl.
Okay.
AFC, it kills me to say this, but I could see AFC Championship game being Chiefs Bengals. The Bengals going to the bowl. And I could see the
That.
Bengals. I could see Joe Burrow just having an MVP year if he stays healthy.
Okay.
It's a revenge year. And
That is
Jamar
fair.
Chase wants that contract. And I would take probably. See, I think this could be a rare case where, because I think Aiden Hutchinson could be defensive player of the year. So you could have AFC player or offensive player of the year and Jamar Chase, league MVP and Joe Burrow possibly, and defensive player of the year Aiden Hutchinson all playing each other in the Super Bowl, where I think the Bengals would win probably like a 24-17,
Okay.
something semi-close, game-winning drive by Burrow down the field.
So let me ask you then, because I had Joe Burrow as my quarterback last year. I know he's healthy right now. He, did his recouping last year. Absolutely shit all over my team. And he killed me. He really fucking killed me because he was supposed to be like a top front runner for like top quarterback last year. And god damn it if he didn't fucking break his goddamn hand like week one. And I wanted to cry. Because I have won 4 of the past 6 years of my fantasy league. And he maybe would have made it 5 of the past 6 years if he didn't kill me. Him and like, I think I had like 2 or 3 other guys that were like, my first 3 draft picks just got fucking shit in the bed immediately, right out of the gate. But Joe Burrow, like, I saw the diagnostics for his hand. What do you think, like, long term? Do you think it's going to stand up? Because now it's more, because they had to put the plates and the screws in there, it's going to be a little stiffer than a regular hand, which could benefit him for stability, but that natural, like, flow that he had with the ball might be gone.
See, for me, I feel like when you have weapons like T. Higgins and Jamar Chase, as long as you can get them the ball, they can take care of the rest.
Fair.
Kind of
That's
like
fair.
with your pick. I don't think Tua can get them to a Super Bowl, but I
Yeah.
think Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill could.
Well, correct. Yeah, and that's the big thing is like, can the
Supporting
offense as a
cast.
whole work it together? And again, Tua is not necessarily a bad quarterback.
Hey,
I
he
don't want to
put
say
up 70
inexperienced.
last year against Denver.
Yeah, that's fair.
I remember, dude, I'm not even going to lie. Me and AJ were going to the Phillies game that day, and we're driving down to Citizens Bank. And I literally looked at Facebook, and somebody posted, like, the score, and I thought it was a meme. I was like, oh, look at that Madden score. And then, like, I went to ESPN, and I'm like, oh, that's actually the score.
That's fucking real.
Like,
That's
it's like, that's
terrifying.
bad. When you're putting up a basketball score in a football game, like,
Yeah, that it's. I mean, it's Denver, and I hate to say it because like Denver was a great team when it was run by Manning, but yeah, it's kind of gone to the shitter. And I feel like a lot of teams have gone through that in the past. I don't know, 5, 10 years. It's like every year it's just like, oh, it's not even the same team anymore. It's just a new team that sucks. Like it's just garbage. They're going through their rebuilding phase or whatever's going on. Hmm. Ooh. But yeah,
but I want to shift gears a little bit.
hit me.
So, I sent you that thing the other night about the possibility of a live action Ninja Turtles: The Last Ronin.
Yes,
What,
I would fucking
what is
cry.
your opinion? Because I know you are currently reading that storyline, or you're
I'm in the process of like reading through it. Yes, I would fucking love it. Now, we're talking Michael Bay directed because that was like the picture that you sent me was the Michael Bay
turtle,
CGI Ninja Turtle.
right?
I'd be okay with it. I'd be okay with that. Um, I need it to remain serious though, because like it is a very serious storyline. 3 of the 4 turtles are dead. One turtle picks up the mantle,
He
and it
carries all their
becomes
weapons, right?
correct, utilizing all 4 sets of weapons. So it's like that's a real serious fucking story. I'm not saying the whole thing's just got to be like deadpan, I don't want to smile the entire time. But it's got to be kind of heartfelt. Like that's the concept of the storyline is like it's an avenging your brothers and, kind of reclaiming the streets of New York. I think would be an awesome, awesome, awesome fucking movie. I would 10 out of 10 like I'd watch it probably more than once if I'm being completely honest with you.
See, if I were going to do that storyline, I would get my kind of like, what's the word I'm looking for? Like, I would get my influences on the movie from like old Japanese samurai films.
Oh, absolutely.
And like, I would kind of run like that kind of a story. Like, using that kind of a format at least.
I I completely agree with you. Um, and as long as they stick true to like the original material, like the base material that they already have, they've got a book. Go to Target. It's fucking 30% off. Go buy the shit. Read it. Make the movie. Everyone's happy.
And don't make incorrect statements about the book in interviews and then blame the fans for why your product failed.
Don't come out of the gate and say you're the strongest Avenger and you can pick up Mjolnir. All I'm saying, I'm still on that. It's been years. And if you looked at our all right, Brie Larson, don't talk shit.
See, I was going a
You're
different
more than
direction. I was going the acolyte.
that's fair. See, I liked the Acolyte, and I said that. I said it. I put a fucking video up when it got canceled, and I said I liked it. So if you don't like me liking it, well, I don't care about you, and you're wrong. No, I knew you were leaning towards the Acolyte. I couldn't agree with you though. That was the problem.
No, see,
um,
my whole thing with the acolyte is like you did zero marketing for the movie or for the show. Then you have cast members that know nothing about Star Wars. Like, dude straight up said that Darth Vader blew up the Death Star
yep,
because like why
yeah,
not?
Anakin Skywalker when he flew down, yeah, and shot the Death Star.
Oh,
It listen, it hurt to watch the interviews because yes, you're absolutely correct. If the character knows nothing about the source material that they're and technically yes, like the Skywalker saga is not source material for that, so like you don't technically have to know it, but like you should probably be a Star Wars fan if you're going to be in a Star Wars movie.
right,
You got to know something, right?
right. Like,
And I said it on my little blurb when the day that it got canceled. Good choreography does not save a TV series. It doesn't because I'll tell you that was some of my favorite choreography since like Darth Maul.
yeah, like I told you, for me, right up top, number three. Number three
Yeah,
lightsaber choreography through everything, through The Mandalorian, through all the TV shows, through all the
yep.
movies, through whatever Disney calls a trilogy. Hands down, it goes Obi-Wan versus Anakin, Maul versus Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon, and then honestly, right there after that, I would put the saber fights and the Acolyte.
Yep. 110%. I could not agree with you more in that exact order. It really was like I'm watching this show and I'm like, God damn it, this is fucking good. Like this might be its saving grace, and it really wasn't. And Disney pulled all of their Acolyte stuff off their website. Like you can't buy merchandise anymore.
Do you think they're going to decanonize the show?
I hope not for one reason and one reason only is because I genuinely wanted to see something come of that. It explored a little bit further into Anakin Skywalker's like conceptual birth, honestly. Like I know that this wasn't his birth, but it was like a birth of the Force
Right.
from a witch, which like Anakin's mother could have been a witch. We don't fucking know what she did or didn't do in her time prior to having a child. She could have defected from a coven. She could have, convened with the Force and had a baby. I don't know exactly how it works because it was never really like explained.
I
But Anakin,
believe the theory is that Palpatine created him in the Force, which who's to say Palpatine? I mean, you watch Clone Wars, he knew who Mother Talzin was, and the Night Sisters, yeah, the Night
Night
Sisters.
Sisters,
So, like, if that was a branch of Night Sisters, I mean, who's to say that that isn't a possibility that happened? But
exactly. And that's all I'm saying. It was a different take on it. I liked it because it treated the Force like a religion. Like there is like Judaism and Christianity and Catholicism and like all of those things, and they all have like a centered belief that there's like a God, right? Or there's like a higher being or a higher power, and they all have Jesus in them somewhere. Like, and that's like what I related it to because all all of the stories are effectively the same from different points of view.
And that's what
And
I
that's
love.
kind of what this was like. Some people are like, the force is, it's in all of us. It's all around us. It's you, it's me, it's every living being. And they treated the force like it was a strand, like a string that it was woven through all of space and time and this and that. And like everyone, I heard so many people were pissed off about that. They're like, oh, they're changing the force. They're not changing the force. It's their fucking opinion on the
They're
force.
changing the outlook on the force,
Well, it's like,
your
again,
perception of it, how you
my
interpret it.
perception of what the force is, and they've never had any other outside, like, maybe that was like what they were taught when the first people who started that coven learned about the force. They're like, oh, this must be a thread, and this is how it works, and it's woven through everything. And then they just passed that down, and then like the Jedi learned about the force, and the Jedi were pushing their force shit, and like,
Well, they
let's
even
just,
go that kind of way in Ahsoka.
yeah. And I'm gonna be honest with you, the Jedi are scumbags, absolute scumbags, fucking sneaky, conniving, fucking murdering people. Then they're like, oh yeah, by the way, like, we're the good guys. It's cool. We murder for good reason.
It's one of those things. The way I look at it is like, not to get political, but it's like today's modern politics. Like, you got your average people that are right in the middle, but
Yep.
then you have your far lefters that are just absolute wackadoos, and you got your far righters that are absolute wackadoos. And it's my both of them have that my way or the highway, my belief or no belief kind of a mindset. And that's what it is. You got the Jedi that are like, look, this is what we believe. If you don't follow it, too bad. Then you got like the Sith, and like they're like, hey, no, actually, it's like this. But yeah, no, I mean the Jedi. Number one, they don't let you express any kind of emotion. So right there, you're serial killers in my book.
Yep.
Like right off the bat, like you can't express motion. You don't express motion. Okay, you're a serial killer.
Yeah.
Like, but yeah, but that's the other thing too, though, is like you watch the original movies and the Jedi are like, this higher class, this more elegant set of beings, even through the Old Republic. Like Obi
Yep.
Wan's most famous, like one of his, I won't say his most famous line, but like literally one of his most famous lines is like, so like every time he picks up a weapon other than a lightsaber, it's uncivilized
Yeah.
and like, or it's not elegant or whatever. Like he always uses some kind of phrase like that. So to hit like it just shows like what kind of regard they hold themselves in, along with how people view them. But then once
Yep.
you start peeling back the layers, then it's like, you know what? There are a couple bad apples in there, and that's the scarier part.
Well, I think one of the big things that, and again, George Lucas didn't have the time to flesh out the entire universe. Like, let's just call it what it is. It's a vast universe. The Skywalker saga and the 9 movies that it was, 3 of which I don't even recognize, it was a blip in time and space. It is a fucking a grain of sand on a beach
It was literally one person's
in the
lifetime.
Star Wars universe.
That was it.
Exactly. So when I started watching Star Wars, this is personal. When I start watching Star Wars, and I'm saying like, okay, there's good, there's evil, there's Jedi, there's Sith. I don't even think that there are other Force users in the world, in the universe, right?
Right.
To me, it is just there are the Jedi, there are the Sith. The Jedi find kids, and they make kids into adult Jedi, and whether you're good or bad, you either leave the Jedi or stay with the Jedi. And if you leave, you become a Sith. There was no like gray area, and obviously now there's like the gray Jedi. So for me, it's like, okay, you know, now we have gray Jedi, now we have witches, now we have other magic in the universe, and this and that, and like different viewpoints on it, and like that's kind of what's cool about it because it's not linear, it's not black and white. There's so much more to it, and that's something that the Acolyte really dove into. Wow, words, English, dove into, and it was one of those things that I'm like, God damn it, I wish I got more of that. So yeah, I don't know. Take it or leave it. I liked the Acolyte for what it was. I didn't expect much of it, so I got exactly what I was looking for.
Did you see the? Did you happen to see the news? I know. I think it was. It might have been me that shared it in our group chat. I forget, but apparently they're moving on from Marvel is moving on from Chris Hemsworth as Thor.
I did not see that.
I haven't seen
That's a bold
anything
move.
other. I think AJ sent it, but I also just read that Tom Hiddleston just signed on for Secret Wars and Doomsday to reprise his role as Loki,
Hmm.
which would
That I'm
make
okay with.
sense if you're going to be using multiple timelines and all this. Like, literally, that's his thing now.
Yep. Oh yeah, Loki is the god of time at this point.
God of stories.
Yes. So yeah, no, I'm cool with that. I didn't see anything about Thor and Chris Hemsworth, but again, it's just like a don't the gay. I know it's a cash grab for like Robert Downey Jr. to come back as Doctor Doom. If they're gonna do the infamous Iron Man storyline, so be it. Whatever, it's Tony Stark from a different timeline who's Doctor Doom. Like, cool, get it, got it. But like, I hope, I really hope Robert Downey Jr. pulls this off because then that would open the door to like so much other stuff. But again, like, I don't want them to recast Iron Man as someone else.
Well, no, you'll have I forget the actress's name, but it'll be Ironheart. I know she's in Wakanda Forever, and she's supposed to
Yeah,
be
and you got
popping up
Iron
in
Lad.
more wars.
Yeah, you have that the kid from Iron Man 3 who will be Iron Lad, hopefully.
I hope that they're going the route that I predicted a couple years ago, where you take the original six and you start turning them into the bad guys.
I'd be okay with that.
Because then you can get like World Breaker Hulk storyline. You could get
Well,
I forget his name. I forget what his technical name is, but I know eventually Thor becomes like an all powerful, like power hungry, like
I know who you're talking. I know exactly what you're talking about. Like I saw the comic for it,
might
and
be
it's
All
fucking
Father
insane.
Thor, maybe
It might be,
something along
but yeah,
those.
he
Something,
becomes a fucking monster.
yeah, and but for me, I'm like, you're trying to introduce these new characters, but you're not giving them any like depth. You're just throwing them into these projects and expecting people to fall in love with them.
And I completely agree with you. And I think the biggest thing for me, like fleshing out Moon Knight as a character, would be awesome. Give me more Moon Knight. I like Moon Knight.
Season
I like
two,
Oscar
maybe.
Isaac. Give me
In
more.
the season two, and he's supposed to be in. I believe he's slated to be in Secret Wars as well.
Okay, yeah, give me some more of that. We got a Hawkeye TV series. We don't necessarily need more of him, but I like Hawkeye. He got less love than he should have gotten. Um,
I'd prefer to see them do dive more into like his time as like the Ronin.
and I would be cool with that too. Like, but now we can move into like the sidekick era.
Bringing
The Young
the West
Avengers. Give
Coast
me a
back
Young
here.
Avengers movie. You have Kid Loki. You have Stature. You have Hawkeye, like the female version. Um, Iron Heart. You in and God, I hate
As the
the fact
Black
that I'm even referencing
Panther.
the She-Hulk. You got Hulk's son,
Shuri as the Black Panther. You got um,
Tom
Yelena
Holland.
Belova, and that's going to be in Thunderbolts. Like,
Yeah. Well, and as much as I hate Miss Marvel, Miss Marvel, Spider-Man, I mean, you could pull the Young Avengers.
Spider Man, you could bring in Miles Morales.
I'd love to see a live action Miles Morales.
See, what I would love to see them do is you use Secret Wars the way it should be, and that's to introduce the Venom symbiote Black Suit Spider Man. Then give him his last, give Tom Holland like his last movie as Spider Man, where he brings in a Miles Morales. That's where you introduce Miles. But Tom Holland gets corrupted by the suit, and now Miles Morales has to take down Venom, which is actually Tom Holland.
Which is a similar storyline to
Spider
the
Man 2.
Spider-Man video game.
Yes. But
No, I completely agree with it. It's kind of cool.
you don't become a best selling video game for no goddamn reason.
That is a fact. But
Like,
yeah, no, honestly, like I'm all about it. I'm here for it. But yeah, dude, I'm right there with you. Um, I know we're kind of running short on time here, but yeah, I mean, guys, if you're watching this or you're listening to this, and this is something you're interested in us doing more frequently, We're going to try to host Riverside more often. We can actually do live from here, which is kind of cool. So we can get people to come watch on and, that kind of stuff, which is awesome. But yeah, I mean, Sequential, always awesome. Uh, Only Murders in the Building, fantastic series. Check out the new Disney album, A Whole New Sound. Mark, anything else for the listeners here?
Hey guys, if you made it this far through the episode, go ahead check us out on all of our social media platforms. We are on Instagram at Nerds Who Drink. We are on Twitter, aka X, at Nerds Who Drink, and newly on TikTok at
Against
Nerds Who Drink.
all against all reasoning, we're on TikTok. Uh,
You want to see two
I
old
don't I
people
don't
try
even
to
like
figure out
it.
how young people think. You'll enjoy
Yeah.
yourself.
Yes. Please. Yeah, and if you can, give us a like, give us a follow, give us a share, whatever you got for us. Um, Give us a listen on any of your major streaming platforms. We're hosted by what used to be Anchor is now Spotify. So we're on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Amazon, you name it, we're there. Last but not least, I'm Steve,
I'm Mark.
and I'll catch you guys next time.